Time of the gentleman's expired. Next is Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chief Magnus, for being here today. It's good to be able to speak with you again. I am very encouraged by your experience in law enforcement and your extensive experience with immigration issues. But I think anyone filling the post of CBP Commissioner is going to have a very challenging job. One recent and very high-profile example of these challenges has been the treatment of Haitian immigrants in Del Rio, Texas. Border Patrol agents who are CBP personnel engaged in cruel and disturbing behavior against these migrants. Inhumane treatment of migrants and asylum seekers is unacceptable in our nation. I know DHS has opened an investigation into these interactions. So here's the commitment I'd like from you. Will you push for transparency in that investigation and for public release of all your findings?
Senator, thank you for the question, and I think you will find that I have a long history of transparency and sharing things with the public, whatever the outcome may be, because I think this is how you sustain and build trust. I agree. The images that we saw were troubling. I am grateful that the Secretary opened an investigation. I think it's very important that we be fair and allow the investigation to move in whatever direction it does as facts are gathered. So I'm not going to prejudge, but I think we can safely say that examining tactics and training is certainly appropriate, and is, after a significant incident, is something that I have a long history of working towards.
Well, and I very much appreciate that history. That's why I'm here today. But I'm asking actually for a commitment, and that is that you will push for transparency in this investigation and for the public release of all the findings.
Senator, I certainly commit that I will push
Good.
for that.
That's what I wanted to hear. Now, I know that in response to the negative publicity about what happened at Del Rio, there was a temporary end to the Border Patrol's use of horseback units in the area. But I see this as just a symptom of a broader problem in recent years. Will you make it a top priority to ensure that all CBP personnel treat migrants and asylum seekers with the dignity as human beings that they deserve, and with proper respect for all of their legal rights, including the legal right to seek asylum?
Senator, thank you for that question. And as I've spoken to, I believe that we have asylum obligations as a nation. And therefore, even as we seek efficiency and to be as effective as possible in working with individuals who seek asylum, we can never bypass the criticality of treating people humanely. Right. These are fellow human beings, and they have to be treated humanely.
Good. I appreciate that, and we will work together on that, because I'm going to hold you to that.
Thank you, Senator.
Another concern I have is about the effects of the COVID pandemic at immigration detention facilities. As you know, I've been pushing for greater transparency about COVID cases in these facilities, and Congressman Castro and I introduced a bill to help ensure accurate and complete data collection regarding COVID testing, vaccination, and safety protocols at CBP facilities and other immigration detention facilities. Also last month, the DHS Inspector General released a report that found that CBP does not conduct COVID testing for migrants who enter its custody. The Inspector General recommended that DHS reassess its COVID response framework, and DHS agreed with this recommendation. With that in mind, will you prioritize working with other federal agencies to ensure accurate and complete data transparency regarding COVID-19 in CBP facilities?
Senator, thank you for the question. And without good data collection, I think we're really not in a great position, right? So I support data collection. I support being transparent with that data, particularly as it relates to COVID. I think this is critical.
Good. And will you commit to keeping Congress informed about your findings?
Senator, I absolutely will.
Good. You know, the CBP commissioner has an obligation to ensure the health and well-being of individuals in its care and custody. Congress and the public have a right to know what is happening, so I appreciate your commitment to making that a priority. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
My colleagues expired. Will